Hello again and welcome back to the PhatPhish Guitar Studio. I'm Dave, and in this video I'm going to be talking a bit about foot switches for amplifiers and effects. Really it's kind of a follow-up to a review video that I did of this, it's down on my pedal board there, the Boss FS6 dual foot switch. I did a review of that a little while ago, great bit of kit, but of all the review videos I've done on YouTube, this has probably generated the most, certainly most questions in terms of feedback. I think one of the things with this particular unit is it's really powerful, it's really flexible, there's lots of ways you can configure the way it behaves, and that's causing a bit of confusion with people. They're looking at it and thinking, well, is it going to work with a particular amp or a particular effects unit? So what I thought I'd do is just talk a little bit about what the unit can do and address some of the questions that I've been asked. Questions like this one. So I got this question from Patricio Castillo. Asking some questions about the polarity settings on the Footswitch pedal. Important sort of point out of this question is, he says, I think I'm going to damage my pedal. Okay, Patricia, so it's like set your mind at ease. You don't need to worry about damaging your pedal. If you think about what we've got in the Footswitch unit, it's just a switch. Electricity, whether it's the circuit that's powering the light above my head, or powering the camera that you're watching me through now, or the signal in my guitar. It's just a flow of electrons through some wires. That's all it is. And what a switch allows you to do is to control what direction the electrical current is going in. Whether it goes down one circuit or another, whether you close the circuit to make something happen or open it to stop something happening, a bit like a light switch. That's all it is. There's some power goes into the foot switch, but it's just to illuminate the indicator light so you can see what state each switch is in. It's not actually putting any power down the cables that's connected to your equipment, so you're not going to damage things in any way. What the polarity setting's doing is basically saying what happens when the switch is in one particular position. So if you think about, you've got a switch. Let's talk about light switches. So you've got a light switch on your wall. When it's in one position, the light is off. You flick it the other way, the light is on. It's a switch. It's opening or closing a circuit. You might have something that's a little bit more complex, where you've got two lights. So you've got a red light over here and you've got a green light over here, and circuitry between them and a switch. Take the switch one way, the red light comes on. Take the switch the other way, the green light comes on. So you kind of understand how that works. I flick the switch one direction and a red light over here goes on. If I flick the switch the other direction, a green light over here comes on and that red light goes off. So basically what you're doing is using the switch to control whether the electrical signal goes through this part of the circuit to make the red light come on, or this part of the circuit to make the green light come on. So you might have that set up. You say, take this switch up, makes the red light come on, down, makes the green light come on. If you wanted to have it the other way, so where you take it up, the green light comes on, and down, the red light comes on, what you would do is you change the polarity. So this is what you would do in the Boss foot switch. It allows you to say, well, when this pedal is deemed to be on, what is the action that's being performed? So how I'm using it down here on my board is I use it to control the channel switching on my amp. So I've got the idea that when the switch is like off, it's on the clean channel. When I press it, red light comes on, the switch looks on, I'm on the dirty channel. Now I might be actually want to have it the other way, where by default the dirty channel's on and I want the red light to come on and warn me when I'm on the clean setting. What I do there is just flip the polarity around, and it basically swaps around the behaviour of the switch. It's not doing anything that's going to affect the behaviour of the equipment at the other end. All it's doing is saying what happens when the switch is in one state versus what happens when the switch is in the other, and allowing you to flip those over. So don't worry, you're not going to damage any equipment. The worst that'll happen is the switch just doesn't operate. That's all that's going to happen. You might find if you get it the wrong way around, it's a bit confusing. What you expect to happen when the switch is on actually happens when the switch is off, but you're not going to damage anything, so very good. Don't worry about it. plug the foot switch into your pedal, you're not going to damage anything. I've also had quite a few questions like this. Juan asked me, I was just watching your video on the Boss FS6 dual foot switch, wanted to know if I can use it with the Boss GT1 for extra presets. Raven, Rich, does it work with the Boss Katana 50? Harry Prasad, can I use this pedal to change patches on a Korg Chrome, e.g. for strings to organ, so I can assign patches from one patch to another patch? Like I said before, one of the real strengths of this particular unit is how configurable it is. You can set whether the switches are latching or unlatching. You can change the polarity, so what happens when the switch is open, what happens when the switch is closed. You've got either the dual mono connection, so you can run the switches independent to independent units, or you can set it up with a stereo TSR cable. Lots of configurability, which generally means you can use it in pretty much any setting. If you've got a setting that needs latched switches, you set the control one way. If you've got a setting that needs unlatched switch, you just set the latching control the other way, and the unit will do what you want. The important thing to remember is it will only work with a unit that's designed to support an external switch. I had a few questions, I think I've answered these in the previous video, about can you daisy chain these switches together to make them do lots of different things. No, basically all you're doing is providing remote control for a switch that's available on the unit. So I've got an amplifier down here, it's got a switch on the front where I can switch between the clean and the dirty channel, but that foot switch down there on my board gives me the ability to remote control it from a distance, and it's a bit more convenient just being able to use my feet while I'm playing and having to stop and press a button on the front of the amp. So it comes down to, does the unit in question, whether it's your Boss Katana amp or your Korg Effects unit or your Boss Effects unit, does it support an external switch? And if you've got the owner's manual for that, it'll tell you. The Boss GT1, I'm familiar with that, and I believe yes, it does support an external switch. In fact, the Boss literature shows you it's not the FS6; it's a similar product, but it's the two independent switches. You can use that with the Boss GT1. The other units you mentioned off the top of my head, I can't remember, but like I say, it will tell you in your owner's manual if the unit supports an external switch. But like I say, all that is going to give you is the ability to control things that are already exposed by the unit. You're not going to be able to sort of add functionality on by putting a switch in. The unit's got to be able to do something for you to control. You can't just put a switch in and suddenly add a capability to it, if you see what I mean. Like I say, it's a really, really powerful unit. I've had it on my board for probably about a year now. No problems at all with it, really enjoy it. It does exactly what I want, and I know it's got the flexibility and the configurability if I want to take it and use it with something else. If it doesn't work straight away, flicking some of the settings around and it will probably most likely do what I need it to do. So yeah, really good unit, I'd recommend it. Okay, so hopefully that's answered a few questions about the Boss FS6 and, well, just switching units in general, what they're capable of, and hopefully it's allayed some of your fears about if you worried if you can damage equipment by putting remote switches in. No, you're not. It's just a means of remote controlling things. It's not going to start sending electricity through something that's not supposed to have electricity sent through it and damage things. It's not that kind of unit. Okay, hope you found that useful. If you did, please click like, please subscribe down there. If you've got a question or suggestion for a future video, then if you go here, fill in the form, send your question in, and I'll try and get around to answering it as soon as I can. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video next time. Bye for now.